know what time it is? It's Prairie Talk time with Blades and Mayo. That's right, I'm Craig Mayo.
And I'm Shane Blades.
Welcome to the old show, you know, the old Prairie Talk show, where it's just a half hour of Little House on the Prairie. That's right.
What more could you possibly want? You know, the most wholesome show on television being broadcasted live every day on Channel 5 at 12 o'clock, and we're just like the little epitome of it.
I guess they could want maybe 2 of our shows in a row or something.
They could.
Yeah.
They could. You know, kind of a surprise today, wouldn't you say, Craig?
Oh, it's a great surprise. I was surprised because it wasn't on our schedule.
Yeah, we were getting ready to actually tape the show, and it was just going to be me and Craig with no special guests, and knock on the door, and we open it
chair,
up.
and
you know.
Yeah.
No, we open it up, and who would it be but a former special guest of ours?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great surprise. So we'd love to welcome back Keith.
Keith,
welcome back.
Nice to see you again, guys.
Thanks for coming, man. We appreciate it. Good job.
Now, if you don't remember, Keith was our Nellie fan. He loves Nellie, and he couldn't stop thinking about her. Isn't that right?
That's right. I think about her most every hour of every day. Yeah.
That's what I call a fan.
And what were we talking about in the last episode? I think we were talking about her fight or something. Yeah.
Well, I would think we were talking about how she. What attracted her to me most was the fact that she was a little bitchy,
right.
And I kind of like that in a woman.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And for you viewers out there, if you didn't get to catch our great Keith Who Loves Nellie episode,
It's a great episode too.
It is
a great episode.
Check this out. So Keith, the episode that comes to my mind is, and it was a key point in Nellie's career on Little House, was when she married Percival, and I just was wondering how that made you feel as a fan.
Well, it hurt, when it first happened. Like I couldn't bring myself to watch some episodes.
Oh.
Like in the middle of an episode, if they were together, I just had to shut off the TV and go into the other room.
Sure.
So would you like even watch those episodes? Would you like watch all the other ones and not those?
No, I'd try to watch them. I'm a Little House fan first and foremost.
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Yeah. And then but in that greater scheme of things, there's the smaller infatuation, albeit a big part of my life emotionally. But so I would try to watch the episodes as much as I could, and if it got to the point where I couldn't watch them anymore, I'd leave the room, I'd sulk or curse or whatever, and then I'd start to miss her, and I'd feel a little lonely, and I'd feel like jealous and almost. I get obsessed, and I go back and I turn on the TV, and by that time it might have been even a different scene or whatever, with the Ingalls family, and then I could watch the rest of it. Sometimes it would be hard.
It's almost like Keith was living an episode. You know what I mean? It's almost like he was living an episode of Little House. He had a crush,
I was like in the farmhouse next door or something, just watching everything go on. And
So in that same episode, I'm reminded, was a very visual time for me. Percival, her husband, to be.
What a geek he was. He was a geek.
Yeah.
But they loved each other.
That's some of the comfort was I knew I could kick his ass.
Yeah, but
and you could, my friend.
You
could. No, brings back some fond memories.
He's a great guest. You just know how to fill up a half hour, Keith.
Yeah, well, and I had a lot to talk about with Nellie. I mean, I do really, I'm a huge fan of hers, and extremely attracted to her, not just in a sexual way. It's it's her whole persona.
Well, it's been a while since you've been on the show, so why don't you tell us, since coming on the show, have you dealt with your Nellie feelings a little bit better since you actually were kind of like to leak them out to us and get that off your chest? I mean, has it gotten better for you?
Well, I've always been very vocal about my Nellie fetish, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's not something that I've kind of bottled up and I kind of let out in the show. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm about the same. I mean, you guys gave me those pictures of Nellie, the new Nellie, the present Nellie, yeah. And yes, they went to good use. I mean, we talked about that at the read through, the script read through.
Yes.
So, anyways, yeah, it was pretty good. And
like your last girlfriend, for instance, was it like a Nellie look-alike? Are you starting to get away from it a little bit, or
have you gotten out of that little rut?
No.
Oh.
No, actually, yeah. Well, my last girlfriend did look a little like her. I mean, you know, the blonde hair.
Sure, curly or not
It
curly?
wasn't as curly as Nellie's. It wasn't as curly
Well,
as
I'm
I'd like it
hoping
to
that
be.
she wasn't a natural blonde. Maybe she was. Did she?
She had colored her hair a little bit.
Oh, so she had the dark roots. So that's
Yeah.
at least it wasn't total Nellie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, Nellie, I can understand why you would find her attractive. She's a beautiful girl.
Yeah, she is really nice.
I think down, Keith,
Yeah.
where
Nellie.
we're just trying
Oh, I'm
to.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's
Yes,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Nellie's not here.
Yeah, I'm just a little distracted.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, speaking of Nellie, though, like we were
Yeah.
talking about, she's kind of a beautiful person. I think on the inside, she had trouble with her mom. Obviously, that's what kind of messed her up a little bit. What are your thoughts on that?
Trouble with her mom. Yeah.
That
What did you like? Well, I guess you didn't know about that. How about did you like her as a young Nellie or an older Nellie?
You know, I kind of like her. I like her. You know, both ways. Young, old, doesn't really matter.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Is there? Are you okay? Is there something
Hey,
going on
Keith.
here? Or
Hey.
We're right here, buddy.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm
You
sorry.
you showed up to our set. We didn't show up to your life and interrupted. You
I know,
interrupted our lives.
I know.
So you gotta, you know, as we like to say on this show, when you come on, you better be damn compelling.
you
know
better
what I'm
have
saying?
your A game when you're
Yeah.
talking Little House with me and Craig, and you seem to be distracted. And I'm
Yeah. Well, I gotta be honest. I mean, I didn't really come down here to talk about Nellie.
You're not promoting some crazy stupid show.
no,
here.
You're not doing
no,
like
not
some
promoting
like
anything,
sketch show or something, or
No, no, no,
you're
no,
not
no,
doing
no,
stand.
no, no,
You're
no,
not doing
no.
a poetry readings at some coffee house you want to get
no,
over L.A.
Okay. I happened to catch last week's show with Vanessa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course,
and,
that's a great show.
she was a
It's
great-
good
yeah.
show. Great,
Yeah.
good show and great guest.
Yeah, she had a lot to say about to see the light and those
Yeah.
pesky.
I
little
really don't
royal-
remember what she was talking about. Actually,
She was talking about the Royal Ingalls,
Yeah.
the Ingalls.
She knew a lot. She had a lot of knowledge.
yeah.
She was a great guest, but we're not talking.
She
this
had
is
a
this
lot
episode.
of other.
It was so
good
funny. She was
qualities,
just constantly talking about how Harriet was trying to lose the weight and stuff because her sister was showing up,
Yeah.
and she didn't know her sister was fat like her. It was great.
Well, yeah, I remember those episodes. I just don't remember her talking about them because I was a little distracted.
What were
Why?
you distracted by? I don't.
Well, I mean, you're right. She does have a lot of knowledge of Little House, and that's
Sure.
that's a very good quality of hers. But she also had some kind of physical qualities that I found intriguing, and
Don't
I
make this a perverted.
is she
Hey.
is she here?
What do you wait?
Is she here?
Are you
is
telling
Vanessa girl
us
here?
you came on to meet Vanessa?
Vanessa's not here. That was last week's show, Keith. And how dare you invade our space and our creativity by coming in here just wanting to meet somebody?
What do you think?
Well,
She
you
just
know,
sits off the camera just watching
Yeah.
every one of our shows?
I thought maybe she would be down here if I can't. If I showed up, maybe maybe you need to do some filler pieces with her or
All
something
right,
like that.
okay,
Maybe
okay.
she was. Wait,
Hey,
she-
everybody out there.
what?
Let's
She was
show
sitting-
some.
she was-
Hey, shut up.
Oh, okay.
Let's show some of the footage of her show so everybody kind of gets a feel for what.
Might
Keith is
as well,
talking about.
since I guess we're talking about her, might as well go to some Vanessa footage.
She said that she read it in a book.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't have any reference to what book it was or where she
Yeah.
found it. Just it was written somewhere, so it must be true.
book,
I
in
just,
my opinion.
I just wonder if like Jimi Hendrix was a terror, or who's another creative guy, It's like I wonder if they were all terrors, like these two little kids. You
Yeah,
know?
and even at the end of the episode, it wrapped it up saying what they became to be, which was a doctor and a priest, which aren't all that creative. You know what I mean?
I know.
Their job
Yeah.
is definitely, it's an important job, but I mean, it doesn't call for a lot of creativity.
Yeah, it's
I-
cut and dry. We're not talking about an artiste.
I know.
Right.
Or, yeah.
I wonder if like they got all their creativity out like too young. They're all
They
worn
might
out.
have. Should have brought that up to
I
her.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
So anyway, they go to Laura and Almanzo's, and they're trying to like hint around to take them. And so, Laura and Almanzo Almanzo kind of stepped up and said, "I have a good idea. How about you guys go and we'll watch the kids?" And Laura was like kind of rolling her eyes in the next room, not really excited about it.
Right.
And it was like such a facade that they were actually good kids, because the dad bribed them. He
Yeah.
said that they could split a silver dollar. if they were good for the whole trip. And originally he was going to say a nickel each, and then they're like, we have to be good for the whole trip. We want a silver dollar. I mean, like negotiating, if like
Brats.
Exactly.
bribery,
And
yeah.
and if he like told them he was calling them for lunch when they were discussing this for the picnic, and she's like, please don't yell at them. Like he was far away and he was asking them to go to lunch. I mean, he wasn't disciplining them in any regard.
Sure.
And just any slightly thing that they didn't want to do was like the big problem. So.
Oh
Yeah.
God, you compare that with the Ingalls children. There's like no comparison.
Oh, they're
That's
like
just
little
the weird-
angels.
Little angels compared to these hooligans. for lack
Yes.
of a better
Yes.
word. God, what a great show that was.
Yeah, but it's like he's here for Vanessa, not Little House on the Prairie.
Well, Craig, with a girl like Vanessa, I guess you're going to get that every once in a while, but we did not expect it to come from Keith.
It was
know.
it was a really good show.
I mean, we did put it on to get, because we thought she would have a lot to say about Little House, and I hope we got a lot of viewers from that show.
You probably did.
A lot of fans.
You probably got a lot of non-Little House fans from that show.
Do you think we converted just by the stories we were telling and
Yeah,
the way-
because-
among other things, yes.
Because
I think
like
so.
when Harriet's trying to get into that corset, and she's going, and we're trying to tighten it up and everything. And
Yeah, I meant that's real. Yeah, that was a very funny scene and everything. But
So that's what got the viewers, you think? Got
maybe. Yeah.
What else?
Can I ask you guys a question?
What?
Is this the actual seat that Vanessa was sitting in?
You just tap
yeah,
the
yeah.
screen.
Do you recognize the color of it?
Yeah, I do. It's a little.
Keith, what the hell are you doing? Dude, sniffing a
What?
chair?
No. I just I thought it was new. I thought it was a new chair. I
get it.
love that new chair smell. It's very comfortable
That
too.
new chair smell?
One of those chairs you just stretch out on.
Yeah. Hey,
Keith, all right.
Keith.
All right, listen.
what are you doing?
Come on, man, knock it off. Okay, that's it. That's
all right.
it.
Hold on. Okay, Prairie Talk TV at AOL.com.
Yeah.
I apologize for Keith over here and all his little antics.
That's completely that we didn't script that. That was terrible. That was.
That's
Hey! What are you doing? Get up!
What?
are you doing?
What?
What do you think you're
Oh
doing?
my God!
What?
What a pervert! What are you sniffing?
Oh my
I
God.
dropped something. My keys.
Right.
Yeah, I was
all
looking
right.
for them.
Well, she is a very pretty girl, but please.
I can't believe
Come
that. That's
on.
totally uncalled. How old are you, Keith? How old are you?
35.
What do you smell? A little herbal essence or something? A little
I told you I really like the smell of a new chair.
Sure you do.
Right?
We
Guys
play
just
those
bought
chairs
this.
after each episode, so you're not going to smell what you obviously are thinking about smelling.
Well, I mean, it's that nice, clean chair smell that I did smell, and that's for some reason, I'm
Oh my God, I hope-
addicted to it.
Hope kids aren't watching right now.
So exactly what what do you think Vanessa's like then? If we're going to digress from Little House on the Prairie, what was your impression of her? I mean,
She had a lot of good attributes.
Like what?
Oh, she was a nice girl.
Yeah, she was very sweet. You're
Nice
right.
girl, yeah. A lot of Little House knowledge.
Yeah.
So
she
it's a
could
plus,
just
yeah.
that's right. She could just spew it out.
Yeah.
It was just nonstop. I was very impressed. She knew a lot of stuff
Yeah,
about
she
Little
did.
House on the Prairie.
And other things.
What
What other things?
What other things?
Well,
You keep saying other things. What are you referring to, Keith?
Well, I mean, obviously, you guys saw her. You talked to her for a little while. She had a lot of good qualities. That's all I'm saying.
You know what, Mr. Chair Sniffer? You're not going to come in here and beat around the bush and act like, give me a half-ass answer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that here at Prairie Talk.
Well, you guys know a lot about, Little House on the Prairie, and I thought that, you would know exactly what I'm talking about when
well,
I
you
talk
saw
about
her. I mean, you got a good impression of her. You know,
yeah,
how to-
certainly did.
Yeah.
So it was the little smile. I mean, there's
Yeah.
something hiding behind you. It just wants to come out.
Well, I mean, it's what are you guys blind? I mean, you did see the episode too. You were right here. She was right here. She
Yeah.
was right here.
She was a very pretty girl.
Wait, hey, whatever happened to your Nellie obsession? I mean, we're trying to get Nellie on. Would you still come on with Nellie, or are you going to not come on anymore? Wait for our Vanessa's Part 2 episode to come on with her.
She's coming back for a part 2.
Hopefully, maybe she'd like to be on the show again. But
I don't want to have Keith around here when she's here.
I don't think so either.
Hey guys, I'll be good. I'm not gonna do anything weird.
You just sniffed her chair.
Well, I won't be sitting in the chair, right? So no sniffing.
All right. Well,
I'll just be watching.
how quickly you forget about Nellie.
I haven't forgotten about Nellie. In fact, what would be really good is if Vanessa put on a bonnet, like a little Vanessa Nellie hat.
Oh, unlike
I'm a little-
the bonnet we put on with the sketches that wasn't good enough. That was like a Ma bonnet or a Laura bonnet. You need
Doc Baker bonnet.
Yeah. You need a Nellie bonnet.
She wants to put on a Nellie wig or something like that. I think she would look a lot like her. I mean, and then of course she doesn't have to dress up in any kind of clothing, if you know what I'm talking about. And
This is
just with a
nonsense.
Nellie.
It has to stop,
Wig.
Keith. And we need to do something to break up this perverted talk we're doing here.
Yeah.
I think it's time for.
A little more, I
Yeah,
know
you know what I'm talking about. Let's just break up this.
Let's just,
travesty.
nobody's coming. We're going to bring on somebody else. It's even another surprise. And the viewers out there, that's right. It's time for Welcome Melissa Gilbert. That's right, everybody out there. It's the time when we want to bring Melissa Gilbert on the show, even when we got this cheese ball here.
Yeah, maybe we should tie his hands up before he gets a little touchy-feely.
Yeah. I think you just stay right there, and I think we're going to have Melissa kind of just maybe stay on this camera, and you just stay right over there when she comes out.
That's right. So without further, prolonged here, let's.
You start clapping there.
Sure.
Welcome, Melissa Gilbert.
No, she did this last time.
No, just hang on. You know,
All right.
we thought she would come today because it was just going to be us two. So there was a pretty good chance that she would be here today. I mean, she didn't even know.
Oh, so you're going to blame this on me that Laura didn't come?
Well, you're here and she's not. What does that say to you, Keith?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I forced her not to show up or something. It's not like because I'm here, she doesn't. I mean, I don't even know the girl.
I think she peeked around the corner and saw you and took off because she's going to come one of these days.
What do you mean she don't have to know you? She peeks around the corner and sees some idiot sniffing a freaking chair to smell vaginal juices. That's not even funny,
Vaginal
man.
juice? What are you talking about? I told you. New chair smell. That's what I was smelling.
Oh, new chair smell.
Well, I know today was a good. I could feel Melissa coming today, and
He just ruined it. He just absolutely ruined it. Thanks,
I
Keith.
hate to break it to you guys, but Melissa just ain't coming.
she is coming.
She's not
come
gonna
on.
come.
What do you mean she's not
You can't
coming?
blame it on me.
I think she's totally coming. I don't know what you're not. She's totally coming. Melissa would love to come to this show. She just keeps getting tied up with other things, Everybody's busy,
Yeah.
People are busy.
I think if she drove all the way out here and just peeked her head around the corner, she would at least let you guys acknowledge her presence.
Unless she got freaked out by a pervert.
Well, how would she could drive all the way out here and just see some guy innocently sniffing the new upholstery on a chair?
How can you innocently sniff anything?
Yeah, I don't know how.
You don't freaking take a flower and sniff it innocently? Oh, that's a nice flower.
Yeah, but you don't get on your hands and knees and bury your face in a cushion.
What if the flowers are on a little small flower
These aren't flowers,
bed
Keith. It's a damn chair.
with a new chair smell?
Yeah, but you don't bury your head in the flowers on your knees. You kind of stand down nicely to smell the flower, and it's more timid. You had your nose in the chair. It was kind of aggressive.
I don't know what to say.
Well, I know what to
subtle,
say. Melissa ain't coming today, thanks to you.
Yeah.
right.
Hey, thanks for ruining today's episode, by the way, too, because me and Craig did have a nice little episode planned out, just me and him. But I'm glad we had you down here today so we could basically offend our Prairie Talk viewers out there. Again, emails prairietalktv@aol.com and tell me what you think of this idiot.
That's right. I mean, sorry, we were going to talk about Nellie again because he's a great guest to talk about Nellie, and instead he's talking about Vanessa. And in case you don't know who Vanessa is, if you missed that episode, check this out just in case. I can't also help but think about the Adam part of this episode, and going to law school and seeing his side again.
Yeah, that poor guy, he had so much trouble, okay? So he's blind for so long, and he finally gets his sight back, and he's gonna be a lawyer, and he's so happy, and then these three guys, ask him what time it is, and then hit him over the head and take his money. I mean, obviously, he doesn't have a lot of money to spare.
Yeah.
And he's such a nice guy, you just feel bad. He's trying so hard, he's a good husband. I felt for him.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so sweet how his wife, fixed everything, and she just went up to the professor and was telling him off, and everyone's like, oh no, the rules are the ruls. And
That was a great speech.
it was. He's all, you should be a lawyer.
And I was so surprised because during the whole show, Mary's kind of feeling unloved,
Yeah.
he's gonna leave me now that he could see.
Right, and very not vocally, but she was like unsupportive to him
Yeah.
doing that. She wanted me to be a teacher like her, and she wanted everything to go back the way that it was.
Right.
And she didn't want anything to change. But I think it was very big of her to overcome that and see things in a bigger perspective, not just from her own.
And especially with Pa behind her, I was like, she's got to pull a good speech out, because Pa gives the greatest speeches, and you got to like step up to the plate to give
Yeah.
a speech in front of Pa. And when she was done, it was like, whoa.
Yeah, the competition was stunned.
Yeah, and even when she was walking away, you knew that the guy was going to change his mind.
Yeah, you were just waiting for him to
It's just
call her
like,
back.
yeah,
You're like,
and-
come on, let's go. We're waiting.
And
Yeah.
she's like about to open the door. Wait,
Yeah, perfect timing.
send him in.
Yeah, tell him to be here. You know,
And
yeah.
then they pull a little hijinks too there at the end with when she goes, "Did you make it? The top
Yeah.
2%?"
The top 3, yeah, she's like, did you make the top 3%? And he's like, no. He's like, that's why I'm late. You know, I wanted them to grade my papers. And she's like, it's okay, you know, next year. And still very, very supportive, you know, very sweet. She's like, you know, you have next year. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do it next year. He's like, because I got in the top 1%. And, you know, and she was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you, you know. She's all worried.
What a joke.
After all that she went through.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, it's kind of like one of those Charles Ingalls directing moments, because the audience was feeling Mary's like, oh, he didn't make it. I
Yeah.
was feeling that.
I was too.
Yeah.
I couldn't contain myself.
And then when he made it, it was just like, yes, he
Yeah,
made it.
yeah, everyone, you know, felt all this
Yeah.
enthusiasm for him, you know, after she went through all that thing. She's like, you know, you better make it. I went through all that. I did the speech, you know, she gave a good speech.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
What else does she want from her?
Absolutely.
Seriously.
it was a happy ending. See, now you know who we're talking about. We're talking about Vanessa.
The one and only.
And Keith is here because of Vanessa, not Prairie Talk.
Not for the love of the show.
I don't understand it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's
I'm sorry.
We were wanting as an apology.
you.
It's
That's
about
what-
time it came.
You know, the next time I'll be all about Prairie Talk. No,
You're
no,
lucky
okay.
there is a next time, Jack. That's all I got to say.
That's right. Well, I'm glad you've made amends with us. Now, if Nellie comes on, you will actually we'll bring him back on.
That's right. I mean, I'm a little.
Show a little character like all the actors in Little House. You know what I'm saying?
That was a good one. You got him on that one.
Yeah.
You got me on that one.
All right.
Michael,
Yeah. What, Michael? What?
never mind.
What?
All right. This show's come
Okay.
to a halt. Now, this is BS. Now we got to fill up a half hour. We can't even do it. All right. Let's talk.
All right.
Talk about Nellie. I don't even want to talk right now.
All right.
In fact, I'm leaving.
Oh no, you don't go anywhere. Where are you? What do you mean you're leaving?
I'm leaving. You talk to this idiot. You think I'm gonna?
I apologize. What more do you guys want?
Yeah, you apologized.
Christ.
What
sorry.
this hurts because we could have.
Well, I
Melissa
could
Gilbert
leave. I
sit
mean,
in
you
this
don't have to
chair.
leave. It's your show. I mean,
What?
I would. Yeah, I can leave.
What if I can't think of a question and you're not here to ask?
You never think of questions. Think of them.
Guys, I didn't mean
Yeah,
to like.
no, I do think of questions. And what if you're not here for when I don't think of? Like, what if I ask, what do you think of the fight of her between her and Nellie? And you're like, and then I can't think of anything else.
Craig, you need to take more control of this show and take it in your own hands. And maybe if I leave, you can step into the role or something. I'm getting sick of
Okay.
carrying the load.
Okay, well.
See what he's doing to
Yeah,
us?
well,
You
he's
see what
tearing
he's
us
doing?
apart.
He's tearing us apart.
Okay, now you're blaming me for the fact that you guys don't get along right now, and you're blaming me for the fact that Laura didn't show up. I mean, is there some kind of a natural disaster that happened today that you want to pin on me too? I mean, what the hell?
Actually, there was an earthquake in Japan.
There was a natural disaster in everybody's pants out in TV land when they saw you sniffing a chair, I'll tell you that.
That's right.
Sorry. I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I told you I was sorry for that, and now you jumped down my throat again.
Okay.
All right, I'm done.
All right. Well, do you have? At least throw us a little Prairie love before you. You know, just like tell us something about Little House on the Prairie. Anything about Nellie. You know,
Say
just-
something wholesome about the show and about the characters.
All right. I admit that my chair sniffing is not. It's not on par with the morals and ethics of the Little House families.
That was wonderful.
That's
And,
true.
You know, I have patterned myself after that kind of wholesome life, and sniffing a chair does not fall into that category, and I'm sorry for that.
Well, thank you.
And
Well,
I've got to work on that, you know, and get back into that wholesome quality of living.
Well, we actually got something out of this episode today.
Well, if you think about it, today's episode was like a regular Little House episode. It goes from a happy beginning to a controversial middle, back to a happy end because things get worked out.
Yeah.
And
Because
think we worked this out.
I do feel kind of a happy ending here.
Yeah. Well, I hope I didn't ruin things too much, guys.
No.
You know, I just kind of let myself I get a little out of control there, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, no, sometimes there's
Sometimes
a
it
little
happens.
conflict or something
But
goes
you know,
down.
the people on Little House, I mean, they forgive. You know, they forgive and forget, and I hope you guys can do the same. You know.
And I just, you know, as long as no chair sniffing would occur
No,
in
I
any
mean,
future
just,
episodes, then
yeah.
we might not have you back.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I hope we have Nellie on, and maybe we can have good old Keith back. Yeah.
I want the good old Keith we used to know and love.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I'll try to find him. Go home and.
Because that was a wonderful time we had with you the first time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and you know, I'd hate to see that go to waste. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Keith, for coming on, I guess. Do we thank him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
It was great to see you when we first saw you. It got a little weird there, but it's all right. You came down. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, again, I apologize.
Yeah.
So-
There's yeah. Well, folks out there in Prairie Talk land, we lived a little. We learned a little.
We even got a little angry.
We did. Me and Craig
Yeah.
sometimes get mad at each other sometimes, all because of
Or
Keith for this particular episode. But, you know, at the very end, we all come back together as a family, just like the Ingalls would have.
so remember our email address, prairietalktv@aol.com.
And all I have to say is good times.
And good friends.